Hello and welcome to the pumpkin carving of a goat video. I hope you do your own crafty project while I am doing my own here. I hope this video is helpful for someone who maybe ADHD needs a little body doubling or parallel play, that sort of thing. This is a very chill video. So for this pumpkin carving, I had an idea to put two pumpkins together to create a single face. I figured if I just sliced off each side, I could put them together. And the reason that I wanted to do this was because the stems kind of looked like horns. They would mirror each other in their length and curviness. So I thought I would make a sort of goat face out of two pumpkins with the stems acting as their horns. I'm very loosely sketching the design of the face. It didn't have to be anything particularly realistic, or it just had to represent a goat face to the best of my memory, really. No references were used, and maybe that's obvious, but I don't know, I can't tell. It looks fine to me. I'm sure its nose is totally wrong, but that's okay. Guesstimating in this section did not pay off, but it was kind of the best that I could do. I don't know what sort of knives people normally use with carving pumpkins, especially when they're with the initial cut of piercing through the flesh, but I have these steak knives that I save for this, but they're not flexible enough, so of course I use the stereotypical pumpkin carving tools for the rest. And it works very well, as it should. This was oddly satisfying, cutting it open from the side. The interior just looks lovely. It looks different from when you open up the top. I really enjoyed looking at it. And I'm scraping off the guts from this section because I plan on baking it, well, roasting it, I should say. So cleaning that off, making sure that's all nice. And I'll do it for the other side as well, once I lop off that piece. And they're just cleaned up. Not super sure if it's gonna work out at this point, but there was still hope. Again, cleaning as I go, just because everything is so messy when it comes to pumpkins. And again, the guts, just so much fun. No sarcasm. This was the point that I was having doubts. I did manage to fix it. I just needed to slice off the bottoms a little bit so the edges would touch, so the face could be, well, the face halves could be closer together. And quite frankly, it'll have to do. It was good enough. More satisfying work with the gut removal. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'd never used scissors before for gut removal, but it proved quite effective. And maybe it's mostly effective just because I went through the side and it just seemed obvious. It looks like a bunch of eggs in a spider web. The sort of spider cavern that you would find in video games where it's just crazy. So clearly I did not start scraping the pumpkin walls just yet. I'm gonna go in and remove all the little spider eggs, pumpkin seeds, from the goo because I'm gonna roast these pumpkin seeds. It was, again, just, pumpkin carving is so satisfying. Even this part was very pleasant so long as I kept my right hand dry and clean. Then the other one can get kind of gooey and I wouldn't be all, overstimulated by goop. It's quite good. A lot of footage was cut here, but I did many goop ball passes before it was fully complete, fully cleaned. And now I'm scraping off the walls of the pumpkin. Started off going very well, but then as soon as you use, and you kind of do need to use the pumpkin scooper TM type thing that you get at Halloween stores, that was less enjoyable. But the spoon that I'm using here, I don't know if it's called the kiwi spoon, but it's my favorite spoon and I only have one of them, and it has little teeth at the ends, which is great for scraping. And again, just being like really clean about the whole thing, wiping down the edges and trying to stick them together. It could be worse. But the eyes were now far too close together, so I went over and resketched. I don't know why I bothered retracing the ears. There was nothing wrong with them, and I just made it worse. For no reason, but it turns out okay in the end. I just don't know why I bothered. And then I have to clean it up because the ink is so messy and gets everywhere. And again, clearly no references, just guessing at what a goat looks like. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I decided to add something to the forehead or foreheads because it just looked kind of plain. I think it also looks cuter this way as well. So here we go. Feeling brave and doing the first cut. The first skinning, I should say. There's not a lot of cutting in this. It's mostly... I kind of want to use the word skinning. It seems weird. But what else do you call it? I definitely had to develop this technique to be accurate with what was going to stay skin on. I'm sure there are easier ways to do this. I was just kind of going in blind and doing whatever I could and what I thought would work with the tools that I had. This part of the pumpkin carving took a lot of patience. Normally just carving, cutting into it, it's quite pleasant, but this was not really. It was quite difficult. So I'm skipping forward quite a bit here. I carved past the moon and star, like I just skinned where I had drawn over it, and I just redrew because it wasn't working out. And I don't remember why. As you can see here, the ear is also done. The inner ear is carved more deeply. And now I just have to carve, not out, because otherwise the pupil would fall out. I want to dig out the iris. I guess the way that professionals do this is to just take all of the pumpkin skin off first and then draw over that and then cut out. I have no idea. The carving out was a lot more fun. But because the entire process leading up to this final step took so long, I am working with 2 pumpkins at once. I was really getting tired. I wish I had done more actual, should we call it sculpting? Dainty work? But it'll just have to remain this way. I was just too tired at that point. And here we are. If you've made it to the end of this video, then I'm assuming that you were doing your own crafty project while I was doing this, so do let me know what you were up to. I'd love to know. I hope to be making more videos like this in future, so I may see you again. Bye.